they put me just to book me how he pay. Catch a pussy in the dark. He can't look me in the face. He can't look me in the face. Bitch about him. Yeah. Check. Perfect. Yeah. Check. Wait. Bitch about it made me late. You need something, you gotta wait. Bottle on the way. Got your lotto to the face. Sipping right up out the vase. Probably dripping in the bay. I could live with a mistake. Nigga tripping, I don't play. I don't play. Need $1 million for the tape. I don't see a different way. I'ma whip him in the shade. Pouring liquor, let it rain. Catch him reaching for the chain. Pulling out and let it bang. How we talk without a brain. Things just ain't the same. Stuff that I cannot contain. I ain't whipping in the flames. I ain't even got a car. Rental in a different name. Pouring up and switching lanes. Knew the nigga wasn't hard. Told him that he couldn't hang. Couldn't get into a bar. Now they put me just to play. If you book me, how you pay. Catch a pussy in the dark. He can't look me in the face. He can't look me in the face. Bitch about it made me late. You need something, you gotta wait. Bottle on the way. Got your lotto to the face. Sipping right up out the vase. Probably dripping in the bay. I could live with a mistake. Nigga tripping, I don't play. Lyrical, no lemonade. You ain't with the pistol play. Brother always try to shoot. Cold Bennett in the face. All you niggas in the way. No, you ain't got shit to say. Used to cop it by the pound. Had to ship it from the bay. You can never say I changed. I'm just sticking to my ways. Got expensive with the taste. Fuck a Civic, nigga. I want digits in the race. Diamonds sitting in the face. Judge hit me, hold me, then I'm dipping in the case. Lawyer dipping in the safe. I ain't worried. Let it sizzle like a steak. You can tell that he fake. Never bitten by the snake. Bitch about it made me late. You need something, you gotta wait. Bottle on the way. Got your lotto to the face. Sipping right up out the vase. Probably dripping in the bay. I could live with a mistake. Nigga tripping, I don't play.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Cypher, episode number 22. I'm your host, the owner of Upstate Aesthetic, Andrew Cazer. Every week I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Anthony Cannon and Sheridan Crane. We just opened with Late off of Anthony's new Clean Slate EP he dropped a couple of weeks ago. How you guys doing?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. We up at it bright and early today. Sheridan's still in the woods, so ain't shit really changed. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty well. We decided to go a little early today because I wanted to watch the Nuggets game. That's at 4. I'm pretty hyped for these NBA playoffs. Last week was my last week at the lake house, so Friday was my last day. I got to enjoy that with my dad, who took the last 2 weeks off. And so I've been spending a lot of time with him that I don't normally get to spend with him. So it's been good. Been having a good couple days.
That's really dope, bro. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing good. Today is actually my first day back to classes, so that's kind of like a whole hectic situation in and of itself. But I'm glad because I'm getting closer to being done with the whole college situation. Only got a couple more semesters, so that's something to look forward to. But yeah, right now with COVID and everything, it's super hectic. We just had some motorcycle rally out here, which brought in hundreds of thousands of people from other states. So apparently 2 or 3 people have already tested positive for COVID on the campus. And it's crazy for you guys. The numbers and stuff, like 2 or 3 probably isn't a lot. For me out here in South Dakota, it's insane. Like the fact that it's hitting so close to home now, and I saw it coming with this rally, but it's just nuts to now have it where I'm at because I've covering New York and everything. I've known and had an idea of everything that's going on. Fortunately, my state did a good job up until this point. We'll see.
And South Dakota is just not a huge tourist destination. It doesn't have folks coming in and out for staying purposes, right?
That's a fact.
Like this is one of the rare occasions.
The one time a year, dude. It's the one time a year where the area makes most of their money. It's why they wouldn't cancel it. And we'll see how detrimental it ends up being. But like I said, it's really weird because it's changed up my college stuff. They emailed me this morning and were like, hey, all of your classes might be changed. Look it up and see because 3 people tested positive on campus last week. So it's like, damn. But other than that, everything's pretty cool. It's been a pretty chill week. Today is actually a laid-back day for me outside of the classes. Getting to get this out of the way. I don't have to do my other podcast tonight, so a pretty chill night. I'm down to watch some basketball like Sheridan is. I'm not a big NBA fan, but I'm trying to get more into it now that I got time. So
Facts, and there's no better time than like right now. I would say that this is the best NBA year in a while, at least for me personally as a fan.
Same.
Yeah.
So like the
And,
same for you.
yeah, and the series matchups are really good, I think, especially what we're going to see in the second round. And it's already I didn't expect I mean, as much as I thought Orlando was a sleeper team, I didn't expect them to get the Bucks like that. Like, I think this is going to be a really fun playoffs for sure. I think it's going to be a really fun playoffs.
We're going to see a lot of upsets. It's very rare that you see both 1 seeds lose to the 8th seed the first time that they play.
Yeah, that Lakers game last night was crazy, too. I was watching that. Like I said, I'm not a big basketball fan. I'm trying to get into it. But as I was watching that game, I was like, shit, this is going to be an interesting playoffs if this is how it's starting out. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, the first round matchups are not supposed to be this interesting. They're supposed to it's supposed to be just coasting through, right. For most teams at least.
That's a fact.
So I'm excited.
I'm definitely excited too, and like I said, we'll talk more about it. It's not a sports podcast, but we'll get into some basketball as the playoffs run through, and probably as football comes along, we'll talk a little bit about that and shit too. It's cool. There's more
ties in the hip hop culture.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's cool to just have more to talk about in pop culture in general than just music. It's cool to talk about music, but now that there are sports going on and things are hopefully getting better, we'll have a lot more to talk about too.
Mm-hmm. And the commercials have been really good. Like I've seen a lot of like Black Lives Matter commercials, and
I was wondering where you were going with that, bro. I was like, the commercials. This man has been dying for entertainment, but
I hate commercials. I hate commercials, but I've seen. I watch a lot of it on cracked streams. Like, I don't have cable.
Right.
I have NBA TV cracked stream.
You got to show me that, because I don't have cable either. So I'd be watching the live scoreboards. I can't even see the game live.
Oh, nah. You literally, like, I swear to God, I'm going to put all y'all on right now. Crack streams. Like, literally look up crack streams on YouTube. It'll be the first thing that comes up. You can get MMA. Like, you can get fights.
Yeah.
You can get fucking games. Like, you can get everything.
That's a fact. And yeah, he's right. I haven't paid for an MMA pay-per-view in a long time. So that type of shit is great to get into.
Yeah. I don't even like MMA and not be paying for the pay-per-views.
It's like that. We do have some music to talk about, though. Shout out to 607 Sound for consistently doing a weekly update of what's come out locally. Locally, we've got On Me by Young Finito, Hold Me Down by Saint Kid, The Underdog by Ryan Bronson. We also had a track drop from Leaky 14, which was part of our competition episode, if you guys remember. Fly Away, that full track is now available on streaming services. And then another artist I really like, P Saint, he dropped a track called No One Else. I want to say I previewed him a couple weeks ago. It was actually a different artist, but the same type of vibe. It's like a dance hall type of vibe, so check it out if you guys get the time. And then some new videos as well. Don Pablo dropped a new video called Where You At with an artist named Tum Tum. Is that what that says? Yeah, Tum Tum. Do You Believe by Carlito Black. We covered that one on Upstate Aesthetics website. So, yeah, keep an eye out for all of that. And then we have a new project coming from King on Friday, August 28th. He's dropping his project Lame. I'm excited for that one. I actually have it in my email to listen to in advance. We'll be previewing the intro off of that to close out the show, playing about a minute of that. So you have that to look forward to. A lot of music.
I think it's really dope that both, and granted, there's like a humble flex. I'm very happy that like both of us are featured on the project.
Yeah.
I think that's the one song that I didn't hear. He previewed a bunch of music for me I'd say last week, and it's a solid debut. Debut.
And we just finished that song like 2 days ago. So I literally recorded the back. I went in, I recorded that. I hung out with them like that whole day. Right before I left, one take recorded that hook, and then a couple like a week or two later, I ended up recording the background vocals for it. Just because I couldn't. I did it actually at home, so I did half of it at their studio, half of it at home. It was an interesting process.
No, it's dope. It's dope to see how it came together.
Yeah, I saw that.
We still gotta link and get some music in before you dip. So let me know when you try to do that.
Yeah, I will. Next week, honestly.
I saw that you were both featured on the project, and I was like, I want to listen to the project from top to bottom, so I didn't rush to both of the tracks. But I was like, oh, that's dope, especially because they're at the end of the project. I've only actually listened to the intro so far, But I'm like interested in this. I'm excited for what he's got going on, especially because King isn't someone who's really put out a lot of solo music with Dim 136. So it's really dope to see him get this kind of introduction. I feel like so.
I don't think he's put out a lot of solo music in general. Even when he was dropping music back in the day, it was with this artist named Rena, and she was a beast. They were killing it together. They went their separate ways, and he's been killing it ever since. He's just been trying to perfect what he's doing before he actually drops something, which I respect. You don't ever want to rush a product. I wish more people did stuff like that. Because after listening to his music, I can tell that he took his time.
Absolutely.
There's only room for growth, but definitely solid for
this. To me, it felt like, and again, I've only listened to one or two tracks, but it feels like this is going to be a project where he gets his confidence and is able to take it up a next level easily. Like you guys said, he's working on like fine-tuning everything, but now he's going to get the results from that, and you're just going to hear it the more he makes music. And people will understand, I think, a little bit more of that, and I don't want to get into breaking down the project just yet. I want to listen to the full thing in general. We might talk about it on next week's episode before it drops, but yeah, overall, I'm excited. I'm really excited, and it's something for everyone to keep an eye out for.
That's a fact. He's a wild card for Dim 136, I think.
I think so too.
He has a very familiar sound, but it's unique for their group.
Yeah.
Yep, so I'm looking forward to that. Something else I'm looking forward to is our next competition episode, our competition episode for producers. Producers have been asking us to do this, and we are looking forward to do it. So send us in those beats. We're doing the cutoff. I set it as September 4th. The episode will most likely be September 9th. That's about where our 25th episode would land. I want to say tentatively, just in case we have some type of issue where any of us need to reschedule. Sheridan might be looking back to going to California at some point, so tentatively September 9th. But the cutoff to send in your beats is going to be September 4th, so make sure you get working on them if you haven't. Make sure you get them sent to us if you've got them. We're really excited for this. We'll have the awards and all of that announced later on, but this is cool. It's going to be another cool episode. We're excited to finally include the producers in a competition episode. So
exactly, I'm excited. I know there's some heat out.
I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, and you guys should be too, I imagine. A lot of the people in the comments are always talking about how they want to get the producer episode thing going. So definitely send those into my email, and we'll get that going because we're excited for it. Just 3 or 4 episodes out. This is the 22nd, so 3 episodes out. That's exciting. It's going to be a whole different thing for us, that episode. That's going to be a lot of fun. Everything is kind of getting different for us. We're changing up our format once again just to make things a little bit shorter. We're going to be a little bit more news-oriented. We're still going to play music sent to us by artists, especially if it's sent to us by artists. One of the big reasons we're going to do this is because I personally don't like playing bad music unsolicited. So if say I find a song that I really don't like, but bring it onto the platform just to shit on it, I feel like that's shitty. If someone sends me a shitty song and I shit on it, I feel like that's totally okay. But then where it becomes is me, Sheridan, and Ant are just bringing on 6 tracks we like every week, and it just sounds like we never give critique. So at the end of every episode, we're going to play one song each. We'll talk about it a little bit. We'll talk mostly about news throughout the episode. It should make the episodes a little bit shorter, too. But if you send in tracks, you want them critiqued, anything like that, I'm going to put the email in the comments. I'm going to pin it so you can send in the tracks, and we'll talk about them next week. So if you want us to talk about your music, send it in. We're totally down to critique, but I just don't think it's right to go searching up music and playing awful music and just looking for a reason to shit on someone when they don't even ask for it.
Nah, exactly. Exactly.
I totally agree.
And it's become more of and sorry to cut you off, Ant, but it's just kind of become a little bit of a boring show to listen to, I feel like, because you just listen to a song and hear us say, oh, this is good, here's where they can improve, and there's really what people look for in shows like that is the shitting on some songs, but if it's not sent to us, I feel like it's just not right, so.
Yeah, I mean, what I've learned from meeting different artists, working with different artists, seeing what different people's goals and what they want to accomplish in music is, some people don't want to be professionals, and some people aren't actively pursuing this as a career. And so to give unwarranted advice or criticism on something that some people just do for passion because they like it, That's shitty, especially when we could give the platform to an artist who is working and one step above, who deserves to get that spotlight thrown to him. But I'm always keep it a buck, like you said, with songs that are sent in. But I probably will never play a song just because I think it's specifically ass and I want to make fun of them.
And that's not to say, like, say Sheridan plays a song I don't like, or I play a song these guys don't like, because I'm notorious for doing that. That we'll still say that's definitely, we'll do that, but it's just not going to be something that we're aiming to do. So, and in terms of news, like if you have a project coming up, a single coming up, anything like that you have dropping, you want us to listen to it ahead of time, review it, promote it at the beginning of the show, because we're going to talk about mainstream news, but if there's local news going on, like the project we just talked about from King, we're going to talk about it. When King's project drops, we're going to talk about it a little bit in depth, so that way we have more to discuss locally, but it's not going to be so much about, oh, let's play a song and talk about what we think of this song. So
facts. Let's get it.
And all that being said, we're going to jump into some news, talk about some mainstream news this week. Something really interesting. I had no idea this was coming. Nas is dropping a new album this week. This is something I know Sheridan is excited for. You both shared the track list for this, and the features were really interesting. I want to get your guys' take.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Nasir or Lost Files 2 drop most previously? It was Lost Files, right?
Lost Files 2. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Lost Files 2 is more recently.
I wasn't a huge fan of Lost Files 2. There was a couple songs that I thought were really good, but a lot of that he could have kept. Same with Nasir. I'm not gonna lie, like there were some songs on that I liked, but a lot of songs he could have kept. It's really crazy to see the artists that he chose to work with on this, and it's crazy to see Hit Boy doing the production, which leads me to believe that people aren't going to be able to give the same typical Nas criticism, that the beats suck and that he's just rapping with no, it's not captivating or engaging, it's boring lyrical rap. I normally don't get that feeling from Nas. I'm normally not really bored by him. I haven't turned on Nas to just bump in a couple of years. I'm not gonna lie. Unless he drops a whole project, I'm not really bumping Nas. He's a legend, but his music hasn't resonated with me as much as some of the people his age retrospectively dropping music currently. So I'm really excited for this. I think it could be a big miss, but I'm expecting a big hit. There's a high risk, high reward type situation, but Nas Esco, he's legend, God tier status. So anything he drops, I'm here for. He gets the benefit of the doubt from me, and I'll be listening to it as soon as it drops.
Yeah, I mean, Nas is one of my favorites. I agree with Ant. He's like one of my top 5 favorites for sure, in terms of rappers. But I agree with Ant on Lost Files too. I think there were a couple like really, really amazing songs, and then a couple that he really should have kept. I thought Nasir was an instant classic, though. I thought that was an amazing album. I thought every beat, from the production to the concept to the timing, like I thought everything was amazing. But I would agree that like in terms of his entire discography, there's been hits and there's been misses because mostly the production. Though I don't think his lyrical content really ever takes a huge dive. It's really just production that's like, oh my God, how could you even choose this? But I think that with Hit Boy producing it and the features that he has, I mean, I just feel like he wouldn't do something. I feel like he wouldn't put something out that was this like mainstream looking if it was garbage. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he really sold out and tried to do some stuff that just didn't work for him. But I doubt it. I don't think he'd do that.
I don't know.
After hearing Ultra Black and hearing like a preview of how Hit Boy and Nas will mesh, I expect it to work. The thing, I don't expect Nas to take a step back because he's over Hit Boy production. I just am curious to see how he meshes with the current artists. One thing about Royce da 5'9", that I absolutely love is that he's always watching. He is so current of what artists are doing what in the current landscape, but he lets them rock. He doesn't force collabs upon them, even though they could make a fire song. It could be weird and clout chasing rumors, all that shit. When I saw Eminem's track list to Music to Be Murdered By, I thought, okay, this is somebody who thinks that they were out of touch with the current landscape of hip hop and just put on as many current top tier or new up and coming artists they could. I put artists that I think people like on here. You feel me? I hope that's not what Nas did. I hope that these were a little bit more thought out.
I feel like that's not what he did. Like, because it's a good track list, but is it necessarily the first people you think of in terms of someone you would throw on a track list just because the fans like them? You know what I mean? And it's not to say none of these people, like, there are stars on this list, but are they the first ones that Nas could pick from to put on a project in terms of reaching for more mainstream appeal?
He had a lot of New York artists. He had a lot of New York artists.
Track list right now, so I could refer to it. He did have a lot of New York artists, which
and he's done some really good songs with Future too.
And I don't think I'm not trying to downplay the stardom of any of these artists, but I think that I don't think that they're him reaching for a mainstream look, I guess, is mostly what I'm trying to say. And that's where I'm really interested. I'm excited for this, and I'm not necessarily a big Nas fan. The last two Nasir I liked, but I know it wasn't critically received super well. The Lost Tapes too, I actually didn't even check for because I don't listen for Nas like that a lot. But it looks like it was kind of the same in terms of critical reception, just what I'm looking off of Wikipedia. And it's to say not that they were bad projects, but that they're kind of averagely received, which is interesting from a guy like Nas. So that's where I'm expecting a really, really good project here. Because, and it's not to say that he probably cares about critical reception, but if he were,
he does.
Like, yeah, if he were to care, he might have something to prove here with this project. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm excited for it, just in that thought process alone, that Nas of all people has something to prove to the critics. I'm interested.
I think Nas. So it's weird. Nas clearly has nothing to prove, but current Nas has something to prove. You feel me? Nas has nothing that he needs to solidify. His spot is already golden. It's there. It's set in stone. But he can increase how people feel about him, how liked he is, and he can even add new fans by dropping a really amazing album in 2020, especially with some of these artists. And looking back at the track list, I actually would agree with you. These don't really look like tracks trying to just get some mainstream appeal. However, I do think that some of these will mesh perfectly. I'm interested to see how Big Sean and Don Toliver and Nas sound on a track. I'm interested to see how Favi and A$AP Ferg and Nas sound on a track.
On a track called Spicy, too. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like that. I don't know. It could be interesting, though.
I think it's going to be fire.
It is interesting.
Spicy.
Like, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's two New York artists. A$AP Ferg is fire. Like, y'all are bugging.
I didn't say it was going to be whack. I said I'm much more excited about Full Circle, though. One of my favorite Nas songs of all time is Affirmative Action. It might even be one of my favorite songs of all time, period. And to see him back with the Firm and AZ, Foxy, Cormega, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that too.
Like, it's bittersweet looking at this track list because I would much rather see a track list filled with tracks like that. But I'm still excited with how it looks currently.
And it's cool in a way to see that crossover, you know what I mean? At least there's still some of that in there with more of the stuff that will pull in maybe more mainstream fans.
How come Jay-Z gets to do it?
Well, and I was going to mention,
Nas can't do
it. This has got to be hard for Nas.
Jay-Z has always been more swaggy, more relevant, and he's been able to resonate in current music climates better than Nas has.
But he never had. But that's because he has always tried. Nas has never tried to do that.
But that's part of their niche. It's part of their image. It's part of their persona. You feel me? Jay-Z
It wasn't
also
at first,
runs
though.
Rock Nation. You feel me? It's his job to be up to date and be current with new artists. I'm not saying Nas can't do it. I'm saying I prefer other Nas. You feel me? I'm excited for this project. I don't want to talk any bad news about it before it drops and I can criticize it. Charlie Wilson is one of my favorite singers from that time period. I think Lil Durk and Nas is gonna go fucking nuts.
What a month Lil Durk is having, by the way. A Drake and a Nas feature, like.
And there's another feature he just had too. I can't remember who it was, but it's another.
I know what you're talking about.
It's another huge
He's
artist.
fired. I've been waiting for him to get this moment. Honestly, I think it was a matter of time.
And this is really like his moment.
Yeah,
this shit is crazy.
So
he's bigger.
It started with Homebody. It started with once he did Homebody and he got Tiana Taylor on the remix. That was when he just popped off.
It was, and just because y'all waited too, like there was
did really well.
Yeah, there was a surge where shit changed.
And with this Nas project, it's interesting to me. Like, how annoying must it be to be Nas? And like, I'm sure that there's probably no beef with Jay-Z at this point, but to still be compared to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z still put out like quality projects up into his 50s, like. It's got to be like when you get into a beef like this in your 20s, you're not expecting to have to deal with this guy and be compared to him for the next 25 years of your career and life. Like, and it's probably not legitimately annoying, but it's still got to be like, fuck, man. Even if I put out a great project at the age I'm at, they're gonna compare me to Jay's latest project.
What happened with Nasir. That's what happened with Nasir.
They compared it to 444.
Yep.
Well, no, it wasn't 444. It was literally. Jay-Z surprise dropped an album with Beyonce the same day Nasir dropped when it was scheduled.
There's no saying it won't happen this Friday too. Like Jay does that shit to
yeah,
not
like I could see that shit. That's why I don't like. That's kind of why I like feel some type of way about Jay sometimes. I just feel like he just does that type of shit just to be an asshole.
It's funny, petty shit.
Bro, I
kind of
like.
I know,
that.
but that's because we're on the right side because we're Jay fans. So it's like.
But I'm not. I don't particularly like Jay-Z more than Nas. I would say I like his entire discography more than Nas and what he's done for hip-hop. But I wouldn't say I like him just as a rapper more than Nas or like I'm biased towards one or the other. I just think when you got beef that long and you could still be petty almost 30 years later, I don't know. I think there's some kind of beautiful about that. Like
I don't know. I just think it's corny. I think it's corny. Especially if it was he dropped a solo album, that would be one thing. But he dropped a joint album with Beyonce.
That's even bigger to be like, yo, let's
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's
and it was a title exclusive, right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I want to say so. It definitely wasn't on Spotify right away. So it's just very interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to the new Nas album, but in a way, I'm looking forward to a new Jay-Z album. Now that Sheridan brings that fact up, I forget about it, but yeah, it's true. It's a thing Jay does. So if there's nothing new from Jay-Z this Friday, I'll be pretty surprised. Talking about new albums, though, Trippie Red's album leaked in full. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this at all. What your thoughts are on that, but just like you guys are both obviously artists, so what's it like to even imagine working on a full-length project at his level and having it just released and all that work just gone?
I can't honestly tell you because I don't know how much that fucks up your bag or not. I know it does. I know it will affect the amount of money you end up getting back from it. I know it'll make you have to change your plans prior to release and jumble for shit. Long story short, it's horrible and a nightmare to even think of.
Like, imagine your Lil Wayne, your Future, your Young Thug, your Quavo collabs all leaked. Different. Like all those leaked. You have all that shit and now it's gone. Like you don't even get to put it out on a project. Like that's tough.
To me, that's different. Even though it's still shitty, I don't want to undermine that. But if you're somebody like Young Thug, Wayne, or Future...
Oh, no, I'm not saying at that level. I'm saying that he had those features on his project, and now he can't utilize that. Well, I mean, he can, but they're leaked. Like, they're gone. They're like that
okay,
sucks.
my
That
bad.
like just imagine
I thought you were
that
saying.
fucks up your bag in general because unless they're
Well,
trying to do verse for verse, you're paying for those bags, and I'm not sure they're looking for a Trippie Red verse. So
I just don't get I don't get how they don't do something to not let this happen at this point. Like I feel like it happens so often to artists where it's like I don't know, like I fuck with like if I'm gonna make an album like on a serious level like that, I'm gonna probably work with one engineer, like one or two producers, and make sure
Well,
that no one can leak that shit.
when the damn near Pentagon is getting hacked, bro, if somebody wants your album, they're gonna get
well,
it.
and this is
Like,
it is kind of a familiar thing, but at the same time, they've cut down on it a lot, at least in terms of full projects being leaked weeks or months ahead of time. Like
you get
yeah,
songs,
one
you
or
get
two
like
tracks.
songs here and
You
there.
used to get full projects easy. Like I remember when Kanye's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy leaked early and just shit like that. Like when there are projects like that coming out early, that then like so compared to this, they've definitely gotten a heavier lockdown on projects of leaks and shit like that. But that's what makes this so interesting is I think that artists are only working with one or two people, and this is probably a situation where Trippie Red sent his project to the wrong person, and here you are. Like, or just use the wrong file sharing platform. I've seen that plenty of times
Boom.
where people just
Yes.
find it through searching a file sharing platform, and they're like, oh fuck, like I found Trippie Red's new album. So it's shit like that. Artists got to be
It's
careful,
crazy.
man. It's true, Sheridan. You should only work with one or two people or do shit as carefully as you can. But even then, like, it's tough unless you're just working on one hard drive in one location. Like, once you send it
Yeah.
into the cloud or the internet,
Well, I
like,
mean, it's also like, so many. One song goes through so many hands before it actually releases. From the moment the beat's made to the moment the vocals are laid down, to the mixing, to the mastering, to the people who are going to
There's a
distribute,
different guy doing all of it.
doing
That's-
everything. You feel me? They
Yeah.
never keep it the same person at that level. So it's really hard. It's really hard. That it's hard for even independent artists to keep all their music without getting anything leaked. So I can only imagine what it's like to be on that level. It's a nightmare, which is kind of why I try not to contribute to it. I don't knock people that do. I just know that if one of my albums leaks, I'm shooting everybody.
yeah. I mean, and it's crazy, and just the what it does to an artist and everything in general. So I'm curious because they're talking about how Trippie Red had some like this was leaning into doing more rock collaborations and shit like this, and that fucks that up too. So it's just crazy what something like this can do and why you got to be careful with who you send this to and how they get it. And you never know how careful someone else is protecting what they've got going on. You know what I mean? Like, I want to say when that Kanye project leaked, it was a matter of someone's email getting hacked, and then people had to go through a bunch of passwords and shit. Like, it was a crazy thing way back in like 2010 or some shit, that it was just a matter of sending it to someone you think you can trust who doesn't have the security on their shit the way they should.
Mhm.
So
Shit is tragic.
yeah, absolutely. Trippie Red, and it's 26 tracks. So, and we talked about it a couple months ago too with Logic. Like Logic came back out and dropped a project. So the same project, I want to say. So, and when you're an artist who maybe people aren't checking for your leaks like that, or you have a diehard fan base who will still support your project, it's not that big of a deal. But it definitely changes shit. Like I don't know. I don't know how much it affected Logic's album when it dropped, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it affected it either, but I do know that a lot as well, right?
Yeah, there was Logic
The
had
whole
like
thing, right?
Logic had like 40 tracks leaked that day. It's insane, dude, when it happens because I'm on this forum where they post leaks when they come out, and there was just a Kendrick and Baby Keem leak that just came out. So like it's interesting when they're like people like Kendrick, you don't get a leak like that very often. Someone like Trippie Red or Logic, when they leak, it just ends up being a flood where it's like 20, 40 files where someone's whole shit just got hacked, and it's a wipeout of everything. So it's kind of insane. But when it's that much, honestly, it's almost too much for someone who listens to leaked content to go through. So it's almost a blessing in disguise. But that depends on how you look at it, honestly. 'Cause it's like because
Yeah,
it's such a pain in the ass to go through and download 40 files or 26 files, and granted, a lot of times it's all in a zip folder at the end of the day, but it's not as simple as pulling up Spotify. So because people are so lazy, I don't think leaks hurt as much, but it still hurts.
yeah. I mean, and some people leak music on purpose to like build buzz
Oh,
and
Drake
like
for sure,
drop a
bro.
decoy.
There's no way
Yeah,
Drake
you
don't do
feel me?
that.
Like, nah, it can be smart, but a lot of the times it's just used in a way that ends up fucking over the actual artist himself. So they do need to get some more cryptic security on their
Or
computers
just
and
go old school,
stop
like,
trusting
you know
some
what I
people.
mean? Stop working from across country with each other and just get in the same location. You know what I mean? As crazy as that, I
It's
mean,
almost
you,
it's almost like mandatory and standard for the person who's recording it not to mix, and the person who's mixing not to master, and then a person oversees that whole process. Like, they want to get as
Yeah.
many different eyes and ears on the project to correct the sound as possible. To my knowledge, at
right?
least, I've never been in that particular situation. But
Yeah, no,
that's,
you're right.
that's what I hear.
Dang, he had a
So
Chris Brown feature. Like, that hurts. That hurts.
it does hurt. He's probably at the crib crying right now with Alex. Um,
Facts. Facts. But we'll keep discussing albums and potential albums coming out. Travis Scott has confirmed that the Kid Cudi a collab album is actually coming. We've talked about this project at least a little bit in the past because people had speculated it was going to drop. We didn't even have it confirmed that it was going to be a thing, so we didn't spend a lot of time on it. It's really dope to see that they're going to do a project together. I hope this actually formulates to a legitimate release because the one track they put out together, the Scotts, I really liked that. And I think together they'd make a great project. So what do you guys think about this? Are you excited for this project if it were to actually come out?
uh, excited for it. I can't particularly say yes. I do like Cudi and Travis. I don't listen to either of them when I'm by myself. But I love listening to their music in groups of people. I think they're both unbelievably talented musicians. I think Travis is one of the greatest of this generation, and I think Kid Cudi is a very unique case and somebody that has an insane cult following. There are some people that like live and die by Cudi. What he's capable of doing musically, combined with how weird and unique some of what Travis does is. So I know this project. I have faith this project will be very great. I just don't know if I'm going to be their target fan base.
Mm. So, Kid Cudi has some of my favorite albums ever. Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying's like probably my favorite, and that's kind of his sleeper. Travis Scott has probably one of my top 10 albums ever with Birds in the Trap, Sing McKnight. But all of his other albums never really hit that hard for me besides Rodeo. I like Rodeo a lot, but I mean, Astro World surprised me after he had dropped like 10 terrible singles that year. Astro World, like, it definitely was like a pleasant surprise, but it didn't like blow me away or anything. The features, there were like probably like 6 features I liked more than Travis's performance. But Through the Late Night on Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight was the first collab Travis did with Kid Cudi. He's always been a huge fan of Kid Cudi, cites him as a huge influence for his music. So I'm really excited for this. I think they're really going to like, I mean, the Scots didn't blow me away, but I liked it. I'm excited. I think they're really putting a lot of time into it. And I think their minds together, they're both very abstract minds. I think that something really great could come out of it. At the same time, I think it could be a complete flop. I think whether it's a flop or not, it'll probably stream really well and do numbers. But I'm talking more of the quality of the album. I think it could be like an instant classic, or it could be like really bad. I think there's a really large range of what it could do.
That's fair. I think there's a chance it could be bad, and like any project could be bad. I have so much faith in Travis and Cudi that I think it's going to be a great project. I'm actually really, really hyped for it, but like tentatively hyped because a project of this level, seems like one that actually wouldn't happen. Seems like something they would announce and then just, oh, it doesn't happen, and everyone's just like, oh, we understand, it's Travis and Cudi, they couldn't finish it. But the Scots, I really liked that. Maybe it's just because I was chilling on Fortnite and that whole experience with Travis Scott. Like, that was a really fun, cool experience.
It was cool
to be a part of. And now when I hear the song, that's kind of all I think of. And you just remember a fun, cool thing that you were a part of when you hear the track or that you watched or whatever. And so I'm really excited, actually. I'm a big Kid Cudi fan. When you guys talk about people who like live and die by Kid Cudi, I'm one of those guys. For the most part, I really, really like basically everything he's put out. There's a couple of albums where I'm not gonna die on those hills because Cudi hasn't always been the best, especially when he gets experimental. But this
Speeding Bullet to Heaven.
Yeah, but this could be like really, really good. And the Scots as a beginning example is like, okay, I'm definitely hyped for this. But again, it's something I don't even think it will really come. Even like the fact that Travis confirmed it is great, but he also confirmed it while discussing his next project that he's working on and how he's got to put so much energy into that and all of that. And it's one of those things where I'm like, man, I hope. But there have been a lot of superstar collabs that never really came to fruition. But there were some that did, like the Cudi and Kanye one. I didn't think that was going to happen, and it did. So we'll have to wait and see.
I think it'll come.
So
it might be another year.
I wouldn't be surprised because I was thinking they make the kind of music you want to hear at a festival or something. So I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to wait a year so people could listen to this outside
if they
at
held on
events,
to it.
and hopefully shit is back to normal in a year. So I wouldn't be surprised, and of course they could just be thinking, well, why rush it? Because there's no one outside to listen to it anyway. So I would get that, and it would make a lot of sense.
Well, that's how I feel. Not to bring it to 6ix9ine for too long, but that's how I feel about that 6ix9ine song he just dropped. Like, it's really bad, but like if he had dropped that like while clubs were open, like I could definitely see clubs playing that song. So I just didn't really get the sense in him drop that. That was like a really weird drop for me.
It was a little bit confusing.
I think they should hold on to it. I think that would be smart for them. Just in general, like, you make that type of music, you want that type of music to really make its run when it can really have people jumping, like when people are all inside. Yeah, that's how you're gonna get the most success. That's why I mean, not that I'm like playing at a bunch of clubs right now, but I'm holding on to my music because I want it to be able to like be played at parties and whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of just at a time where everybody's just at home.
Well, yeah, and that it's a really weird thought, and it's almost like because we don't know when things are necessarily going to get back to normal, and when you will be able to just go out and chill, and some people are trying to, so it's tough, but like you don't know, so you're making music for a whole different audience these days, and people I don't think even realize it, you know, like and they probably do realize it, but it's hard to really think about and really narrow down what your listeners doing these days. Like, they're not at parties or venues or anything like that. They're probably sitting by themselves, listening to music by themselves or with a group of 4 or 5 people. Who then you're catering to 4 or 5 different audiences. So it's very interesting. When it's a club-like setting, it's better because you have a bunch of different opinions. When it's 4 or 5 different people, it's very easy for 2 people to be like, change this, shut this off. So it's just weird. It's a whole different landscape right now to put music out for people. And I don't blame anyone for not even realizing it or thinking about it, but it's true, and it's probably a big reason why a lot of lyrical artists are kind of getting a little bit more showcased than they ever have been before. And not to a huge extent.
And modern.
Yeah.
Like in the last 5 or 10 years, probably. Yeah.
And it's interesting. Go ahead, Ant.
I was just gonna say I agree to a certain extent. I can't really speak too much for that because I guess that's what I always focus on myself. It would be more so the past couple of years that I've been trying to stay current with mainstream topics and trends. But it has been very refreshing to see the resurgence of like real gangster rap, lyrical conscious shit that's not just coming from like J. Cole and Kendricks. You have it coming from the underground artists as
And
well.
they're getting some recognition. It's still not perfect. I mean, no one's walking away with awards for the most lyrical content, but still, things are changing.
Well, it's like when you see somebody like Benny on a Russ album, and he has 4 Drake features in the cut, and he's turning down $5 million deals.
And they were on Jimmy Kimmel, like they.
Yeah, like that's, you can't. That's kind of unique. Not everybody is Griselda, but them alone, I think, are a shining example of the resurgence of what hip hop can be in 2020 going forward.
Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting. We're talking about lyrical content and how that works for artists in their favor or whatnot. What about, have you guys heard about Travis Scott catching a lot of heat lately for his...
Man, did niggas really think Travis was writing all his own lyrics? Did niggas really think that?
I don't think, if anyone did, they're foolish.
They're fucking stupid. I mean, of course, Travis can write. I don't want to undermine him, but the type of artist that he is, he would be dumb not to be using his vocal projection, his ability to deliver a hit song with the best writers in the room. I was watching Sci-Hi, which is the person that got outed as Travis Scott's ghostwriter for Astroworld. He was saying, when you're one of the most lyrical niggas in the world, and you're trying to be, or when you're a lyrical artist, but you can also make a hit, and you're trying to compete with the biggest names in the world, 30 to 40 people are sitting at them trying to make one song. If you're sitting in the studio with yourself and your fucking producer trying to beat that song that has 40 people working on it, as opposed to you and your engineer, you're fucked. It's just not gonna work. So Sci-Hi said that he's been recruited by not only Travis Scott, but by everybody's favorite names for music, and has just been collecting
Dude, and
checks on the
Sci-Hi
side.
is nice. Like I know a lot of people don't listen to Sci-Hi, and he's not like everybody's favorite or anything, but I fuck with Sci-Hi once in a while. Like when his last project
really
dropped,
good.
I liked it, and I don't know if anyone heard it, but like the faux
No Dope on Sundays.
yeah, and he had like one project he had like a faux diss at Kanye. It wasn't like a full on diss, but it was like what a diss would sound like, essentially coming from Sci-Hi towards Kanye, and it was fucking heat. Like and so it was like a in love almost type of diss. But yeah, it was very interesting. It's interesting to hear that he's credited for work on Sicko Mode, just because everyone loves Sicko Mode. I think that might be what pissed everyone off the most, was they felt duped about another Drake track. The fact that Drake wasn't the one getting the ghostwriting on this one. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because people just, I guess they don't think that deep when it comes to an artist like Travis. And I had always heard Travis was really like big into the production of his music and how stuff was arranged, and really wanted to have involvement of that. So to hear that he doesn't write everything is kind of interesting, but at the same time, it makes sense. At this point, he feels more like a Kanye than like a lyrical miracle type artist. And I'm not saying he's not a producer either, but he's more of a creator.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, yeah.
He's one of like the best producer rapper combos in the game right now.
Okay. So, like, just his creative process and everything with that, it makes sense that he's, like I said, more of a Kanye type than like I don't even know who's the most lyrical.
He's a machine. He's a machine. Like that. Yeah. So much goes into him. Once you get to somebody like Kanye, once you get to somebody like Travis, somebody like Drake, it's a machine. There's so many moving parts to keep somebody like that afloat. I think Drake is a little bit unique because of how great he truly is at rap. I think that people heavily underestimate Drake's ability to write an amazing 16. He can go bar for bar with 95% of rappers, maybe 90. Like Drake is top tier when it comes to his pen, but he's a fucking pop star. I don't even label Drake a rapper anymore, and he could drop the most fire 20-song cohesive rap album tomorrow. He's still a pop star to me. He chose that life. He could have taken a different direction, but he's a pop star who can rap very well to me. I think all of that comes in with ghostwriting, I think Travis can still have a huge say on the arrangements, on the production, even the writing, while having a ghostwriter. I don't think that takes away too much.
100%. I guess I thought if someone is that hands on, and it's like almost a naive thought for me, but if someone is that hands on, why aren't they also writing the lyrics? Or not even why aren't they, but I just assumed he was.
Yeah.
I just assume if you're that hands on, he's doing everything. But it does make sense. Like, and it's funny. I don't know if you guys saw, Russ was pretty irritated about this. He had made a tweet like in inside reference to it, saying that Sci-Hi was everybody's favorite rapper and no one knew it, type of shit. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. Sci-Hi has been ghostwriting since good, and probably before this, but since they were doing the Good Fridays. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Like
the Good Fridays was fucking
dropping.
amazing. That was such an interesting time. That I feel like that shifted the time that people were dropping music. I don't know for sure, but I want to say back then they were still dropping music on Tuesdays, and Kanye helped shift it towards Fridays. They might have already been making that shift to Fridays, but music dropping on Fridays hasn't really been a super consistent thing throughout all of history. Like, there was definitely a time where they were dropping albums on Tuesdays. So, and I feel like Good Fridays had a lot to do with that. So, like, Good Fridays just, it was a good time for me.
Yeah, no doubt, and a lot of amazing music came out of it.
No doubt.
And every time Sci-Hi and Pusha T were on the same song, I was hyped.
It's cool to see those two finally. Like, it took long enough for it, but Sci-Hi and Pusha T to really, and that again, that's kind of what I mean. The lyrical artists starting to get their flowers. Like, they're still not the most well-known artist, and Pusha T had to go at the most well-known artist to get his recognition, but now they're starting to get their flowers, so it's cool.
Facts, bro. I'm excited, and that Sci-Hi is getting some love.
Yeah.
Sci-Hi has killed damn near every verse that he's ever had. He's killed every radio freestyle he's ever been on. He's one of the most underrated
and he's
lyricists
securing
in
the
today's
bag,
rap.
bro. Like, the fact that he's not taking these and dropping himself is because he knows that the money is in it for writing for him. Like, he didn't pop off in the first 10 years, so here's where the money's at. Like,
I mean, no fucking body in the world wants to hear Sicko World by Sci-Hi. No, like, nobody, or Sicko Mode by Sci-Hi. Like, I love Sci-Hi, and I would be rolling my eyes, like, listening to that by him. You feel me? I'm not sure if he was actually in the room with Travis or any of them while writing it, or if he just sent a reference track over and sold that type of shit to him. A lot of rappers do that. They make little references.
but he's good music, and Travis, well, him and Kylie were dating. No, I don't think they're not under the same label, but he was dating the person that Kanye, like Kanye's stepsister, or however the fuck it would be. Kylie Jenner is definitely in relation to Kanye. It would make sense that they would be involved in the same spot. Like, it.
Travis Scott is like touted as the new Kanye West. That's how I got put onto him. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that, but as a producer rapper combo, for this generation, the kids probably like 16 and under, I've been told that Travis is going to be like their Kanye, which is really weird to me because I think Kanye is still this generation's Kanye.
But I do see the younger generations, like the transition and just the way that Trav is able to market himself and everything around him into like something else beyond music and beyond a producer. Like, the way that those relations go beyond music is what makes me understand it. You know what I mean? Trav already has dropped shoes, but I will see him doing his same type of Yeezy thing or something like that down the line would not be super shocking to me. So the comparisons make sense, but I still agree. Like, Kanye is still Kanye, but Trav is like next up.
Did you know that did you not know that Trav was a producer?
I knew he had worked in that, but I definitely didn't know he was like, does he produce for other artists? Because I wouldn't know that. I would believe that he produces for himself.
Yeah, a lot of them, and he's produced most of his discography, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like the majority of his discography, I think he has the like major production credit.
Yeah, so there's definitely, I see the relation between the two, and it makes sense. So for the kids these days, it would make sense.
You know who I think even though Travis like will be looked at more like Kanye, in terms of like actual talent and how good like of a producer and probably a better rapper than Kanye, Tyler the Creator.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
And even like
He's
the
produced his
merchandise,
entire-
even like the
he's produced his
merchandise
entire
crossover and shit too.
discography.
Like that's interesting.
we're gonna be talking about Tyler the Creator as one of like the most important hip hop. I can't say important. One of the best hip hop artists of this generation.
No
Easily.
doubt.
I think I easily. I think
Could
what
be
he has
ever.
done. I'm not gonna comment on that. He does have a chance.
Right.
He has a lot of work to do if it has to be that. But
Yeah,
in
it's
terms
gonna
of
be like
in terms of
gotta be a lot.
versatility, in terms of impact, like Odd Future has still an everlasting impact. You want to talk about games, shows, merch runs, YouTube channels, comedy, like they have a huge lasting footprint on hip hop, and he's done a 360 since then, and has been dropping the best music of his career, which I thought he was a heavily underrated lyricist back in the day, and was making great music. But we'll give Tyler his flowers some other episode. He's somebody that I think is truly underappreciated in modern hip hop.
Without a doubt. And it's a great point you bring up, Sheridan, so we'll have to talk about it, swing back around to it at some point. But we're basically done with our mainstream topics. We got some short topics. I just want to get your guys' brief thoughts. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but are you guys hyped for Certified Lover Boy, Drake's new project? Sheridan, you go first.
I'm excited hearing some of these. I like Dark Lane demo tapes. I really liked his new song with Dirk. I think if he stays on that type of lane, as long as he's not like, I think he's got to do a little rapping, but I think, I mean, I'm not gonna be mad if he just has a bunch of hits. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at that, honestly.
Yeah.
I go back and forth with Drake. I thought More Life and Scorpion were horrendous. But Views was probably my favorite Drake album besides Take Care. I think there's a lot of potential. So we'll see. I'm excited, but I could see myself definitely being disappointed.
For sure. How about you, Ant?
Yes, no, I'm not excited. I will listen to it for sure. The thing I'm excited about, I guess, is going to be to see whether he used this name as a ploy to confuse people and is going to come with some super hard shit, or whether he's going to play the Certified Lover Boy card. Excuse me, which I don't see him doing. I genuinely think he used this name for shock value, and some songs might align with the concept of it, but I think he's going to have a contrast to the actual music from the name, which in that case, I would be kind of excited. I think there's a huge risk for disappointment in this. Drake makes very good music. I'm not sure what it is about him, but he's a walking hit maker. I hear music by Drake, and I can't judge it by regular standards, because even if I hate it, it's a fucking hit. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. So it depends on what he's going for. I'm assuming it's not going to be music for me. And it's always weird judging music that's not for
That's
me.
fair.
My favorite Drake is still when he just goes fucking dumb and introspective and flexes on people in a way that only him and Jay-Z can do. So I don't think we're gonna get this tape. I did like his last project, like Sheridan said. Probably my favorite project. I liked it a lot more than the double disc that he dropped previously to this. So it's a mixed bag. If we get a fire project, I'll fuck with it.
So I'm gonna be honest. I literally like the opposite of what you just said. That's why I don't like Jay-Z. I don't care about rich people flexing. Like I don't like that. Doesn't really, unless it's trap music. Like
there's a difference between flexing and flexing in a way that nobody else can flex.
No, but I know, and I'm like, oh, do I want to hear Jeff Bezos like make a song about how much money he has? No, like I don't want to hear it about
I
Jay-Z
will
or Drake
say,
either.
I will say,
I bought a painting for 1 million. I could have bought a painting for 1 million. Blah blah blah. You know how much that painting is worth now? 10 million. You know how I feel today? Like Dumbo. Like nigga, that shit is different. That shit is different. When you can pass on like Drake
Like
can
it's
literally
fire, it's fire. It's just not what I like. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm not saying it's not fire. It's just I don't want to hear that. I'd rather hear Drake do Certified Lover Boy. Like that's what I want.
I'm definitely, I'm
I
excited.
wanna hear Drake.
I'm excited for the project. I think it's going to be. I'm ready for a full length new Drake project because Dark Lane demo tapes was dope, but it was a lot of stuff that had leaked over the last couple months prior to that. I'm excited. I'm a big Drake fan, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited. And when Dark Lane demo tapes came out, we had like 30 minutes of shit to talk about just of the project. So I'm excited for that too. I'm excited to get it.
What would you
and
rather
and it
hear?
to break out. I want more of like a lover boy type Drake probably, but I want him. I want a blend. Like but.
Me too. I want some of both. I want some of both.
Do you guys want
more Lover
Do you
Boy.
want a blend of Christian and TikTok? Because that is our next topic. Our short topic. Would you use Kanye West Christian TikTok? Ant, you can go first on this one. Nah.
No,
Yeah.
no chance. I gotta hit the buzzer on that one. It's a no for me, dog.
It's
on my
just
Randy
no for
Jackson
so
type
many
shit.
reasons, dog. Yeah, I'm with you.
Jesus
Yeah.
Talk. You said it was called Jesus
Yep.
Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, so the idea of it, y'all said is like to have a safer place for children on social media that's Christian and like promotes better values. I think if you take the Christian and the religion and all of that out of it, that's
You just want like Nickelodeon Facebook is what you're saying, basically. A safe place for kids. Like I agree.
Age
Yeah.
appropriate Facebook. I mean, like,
I've been on TikTok. I like TikTok, but there's a lot of like really fucked up content on TikTok. So like,
there's a lot of
if you-
Yeah, I've never actually.
Yeah,
my girl
imagine-
goes on TikTok, but I've never really been through much TikTok.
on TikTok, you say, "Hey, you're like fucking 6. Like this is nice talk." I don't know, like what? Not
yeah,
that.
I get
Yeah,
the
but
religion
imagine-
thing, and as someone, I'm not super religious, but I am religious, so it makes sense that it would be cool to like, oh, here's a 2-minute prayer you can read or listen to, like and there's probably already apps like that. That to me, like, it makes sense. It's probably very profitable for the Christian community. Like, it would make sense, and it would be very easy for someone who does want to become more religious. But I don't like dedicating a whole application to one religion and excluding other religions, because I have friends of multiple different religions that I don't base anything off of that at all. So I think to make that decision or whatever, like, just to do it is shitty. So yeah,
I got a couple reservations with this. Two, like you said, it would be very profitable for whoever is running it, and extremely profitable. And where is that going?
Yeah.
Is it just going into your pockets, or are you distributing the resources that you just got in a way that makes it for something and not just for your pockets? Two, it's the internet and social medias are already the biggest hub for child predators and people that are trying to harm children. I think isolating them onto one app would be absolutely ridiculous.
The predators would find a way in. So yeah, it makes sense.
It would literally just be like, here's a pool of children. There you go.
It would be like Wayfair, basically.
Less of an open forum. If you made it, you could make it less of an open forum and have it be like
very
filtered
content.
Parental. Prove you're religious or prove your age. Like
no. That's not what I mean. I'm saying the content that comes up. And it's not like you can. It's not like don't make it so you can like message.
Yeah, but then
users.
kids just wouldn't use it. You know what I mean? Those
content.
probably already exist. Kids just don't want that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird, but
if you can't talk or communicate or engage in some way, shape, or form, then nobody's gonna be on it.
And if you can, then
I think
it just opens up room for trouble.
A lot of different doors, and especially children of religious backgrounds are exceptionally impressionable and gullible, and I don't know. I just feel like that's something that is asking for trouble. And that may be a weird thing to think about, but I think that kids would be endangering themselves being a part of it.
And our last quick topic. This one is simple. I like I said earlier, I'm not a big basketball fan, so I'll give my pick first. But who you guys got for the NBA Finals? I'm just gonna go and randomly pick the Lakers and the Raptors. My brother's a big Raptors fan. I'm probably way off, but we're all gonna make picks and we'll stand by it.
That's not a horrible take. Yeah, it's not a horrible take. If I had to choose, stomach is telling me Clippers and Celtics. But I don't want the Celtics to really make it out of the East. I think they just have the best overall team. When the Nets come back next year, it's going to be a different story. I would love to see the Bucks in the finals. I don't see a team beating the Clippers, which may be naive or ignorant. I just don't see it happening. I think the Lakers are in a position where they could get bounced out the first round, which would be absolutely insane to me. I think it would be historic and very negative towards LeBron. LeBron will be out of the GOAT conversation if he gets bounced out in the first round this year, which I think is insane to me.
You think he would be out of the GOAT competition?
Yeah, yes. He's bugging. No way. He is the GOAT.
You're crazy.
He was the GOAT 5 years ago.
If LeBron gets bounced out this year in the first round after getting Anthony Davis and moving to the West, he's out of the GOAT conversation. He'll be 3-7.
His team shot 21% last night.
It don't matter. It does not matter. He has 2 of the top 5 or 6 NBA players in the league, and he's going against fucking Dame Lillard. Like, Dame Lillard is nothing to be.
They're gonna win. I mean, I don't even know why I'm having this conversation. They're gonna win the next 4.
I think they're gonna win too. I'm saying if they lose, LeBron's done from the GOAT conversation. They
won't. The Clippers are gonna lose to the Mavericks. The Clippers are gonna lose to the Mavericks.
What?
That's what's gonna happen. Yes. The Clippers, they would have lost the first night if Porzingis didn't get ejected in like the beginning of the third quarter.
But ejections are a part of basketball, bro. Just like injuries are, just like fouls are.
But it's not a part of basketball when it was 2 technical fouls that weren't technicals.
But it happened though, so it was a part of basketball. Like, you can't account for. You have to shit like that to happen, especially in the playoffs. I think it was stupid. They should have let him play through. The Mavs are not beating the Clippers. That's just a stupid take. Luka had 11 turnovers.
I'm gonna love it when we talk about sports now because this is great.
They're definitely gonna beat the Mavs. The Mavs are definitely gonna beat the Clippers. And if they don't, the Nuggets are gonna wash the Clippers easily.
So put $100 right now. That put your money where your mouth is, brother.
All right.
$100.
$100.
On which one? The Mavs are going to beat the Clips or the Nugs are going to beat?
I'm not going to put 100 on that. I would not going to put 100 on that. But I'll put 100 that if the Clippers make it to the second round, Denver will beat them.
Okay. I got you. $100. Clippers versus Nugs if it ends up happening.
That'll be fun to watch. That'll make that series even more interesting. Sheridan, did you even mention who you got in the finals yet?
Denver, Boston.
That ain't happening, Ant.
No, I mean, it's just like, I would love to every fucking year be like Thunder versus whoever, but that's just not like that's just not how it works, bro.
And listen, if it's not Denver, like if Denver doesn't make it to the finals, it's because LA beat them, not the Clippers. The Lakers beat them after they beat the Clippers. And the Lakers will win the championship at that point. If Denver's not in the finals, it's a 100% chance the Lakers will win.
I like it.
I got you. I'm excited. You just made my playoffs a lot more interesting.
Right.
The East is more of a toss-up. For me.
So the Nugs are just a lock for the West.
Nah, the Nuggets or Lakers are a lock. It's gonna be a crazy series when they play. It's gonna be a crazy series.
So yeah, there you go. Y'all got our finals picks. Everyone in the comments.
Series will be better than the East series.
Everyone in the comments, make sure you let us know who you got in the finals.
Jamal Murray is gonna average less than 22 points a game against the Clippers when they play. It's gonna. I promise you. And Luka snapping. Luka went 49, 9 and 42, 9 and 7, bro. But
Patrick
niggas can,
Beverley's the most overrated defender in the league.
bro. They're not gonna put
He's been
Patrick Beverley
exposed
on Jamal Murray.
We'll wrap it up here. Otherwise, you guys might talk about basketball for a very long time, and this is the quick topics section. Like I said, if you're watching, make sure comments. You drop it in the comments section who you got for the finals. We're gonna be covering that throughout the playoffs as well. Now it's time to play some music. We've got some tracks lined up, just 3. This one was sent to me. We previewed it at the end of last week's show. I'm going to play it for you guys now. It's a track from T Melly featuring Saint Kid called Love Drunk. It's definitely not super hip-hop, but it's fun. I like it, and I really like what Saint Kid did on this, and T Melly did his thing too, so we'll go ahead and play it.
Love drunk, yeah. Tell me what you drinking for. Fucked up, yeah. That's just what the weekend's for. Love drunk, yeah. Tell me what you drinking for. Fucked up, yeah. Drinking and we drink some more.
Ooh, shawty like to live for the weekend. I fell in love, straight into the deep end. Driving on your waist, but it's crazy how I'm feeling. Met her at the party and she already got me leaving. Summer flings got me going stupid for you. It's the little things I was always doing for you. This could end tomorrow, maybe this could last away. She just gotta tell me, cause I don't know what she feeling, me.
Love drunk, yeah. Tell me what you drinking for. Fucked up, yeah. Drinking and we drink some more.
Swear that she the one, she been on my mind, yeah. Shawty like the party, shawty like the night. Whoa, first time that I saw her, she changed my whole world. I can't waste no time, yeah.
She been on my mind, I can't waste no time, no. When you come around, you make me feel alive, yeah. Keep you on my side, never let you go, no. Got me tripping on your love and you should know. I think you got me fucking love drunk, yeah. Tell me what you drinking for. Fucked up, yeah. That's just what the weekend's for. Love drunk, yeah. Tell me what you drinking for. Fucked up, yeah. Drinking and we drink some more.
And that's Love Drunk by T Melly featuring Saint Kid. Like I said, that's definitely a different vibe than what we usually play, so make sure you guys sound off in the comments. Let us know what you thought. If you thought it was fire, drop those fire emojis. If you thought it was trash, let us know why. Ant, what'd you think?
I don't think I'm their target demographic for that. I thought it was a really good radio song. I could see it playing in like a movie. I could see it bumping at a festival or an age appropriate concert. Yeah. I won't be listening to it again. But I think it's a really good song, as a song. Yeah. You feel me? They both did their thing. And I think that they made it exactly how they should be pushing that.
It's not out yet.
It's not out
yet. Yeah. This is that we're pushing it. So it'll be dropping this Friday.
So, I think that's really dope of them. Like I said, I'm not the target demographic for that song per se, but the execution on both sides were dope.
I am.
Yeah. So let me hear what you think, Sheridan.
I thought that shit was fire. Like, I really like that. The Team Alley part reminded me of like when Goth Boy Click, like the people that fuck with like Lil Peep and Lil Tracy, not necessarily them, but other artists in that group when they get together and make like pop songs. And I always love that. I think that song was really, really, really dope. I could hear it on the radio. I thought Saint Kid's part was awesome. It's not something that I would probably bump like for a long time, but when like it's the type of song that when it comes out, I know I'll be listening to it for a couple weeks. So I'm definitely excited for the drop, and I will be surprised if it doesn't do numbers.
I agree.
I mean that's what I'm saying. They gotta push that one. That's not, you can't just drop
and
that
just leave
and expect
it
to do numbers.
But if they push it, it's like it's
I've already
almost.
seen it in the.
Go ahead.
I've already seen it in my Instagram promotions.
Yeah, it's been on my promotions for a couple weeks, but that's not the only way you push it. They gotta get some pictures together. They gotta get some videos
pictures together would be really smart, honestly.
A music
something
video.
together,
Yeah,
something
exactly.
together,
like,
something that shows them together. Because
I'm going
and
to.
Bro, that's something they both do all the time. They're always both they both post a lot
very
of
good
pictures
about that.
So like yeah. So
I'm going to T Melly's studio. I'm going to T Melly's studio tomorrow for the first time, and I just got a text asking if Saint Kid can come. So I'll be with Saint Kid and T Melly tomorrow, and they could take some photos there. But they should shoot a video for that. They should get a really summer theme going on.
Yeah, that feels like a great end of summer type song. Like, obviously, they're not going to hold it till next summer, but it's one of those where it's like, damn, if we weren't in the middle of a quarantine or pandemic or whatever, like...
To me, it sounds like we're about to go on summer vacation.
Pool party type shit, right? Like, yeah.
I literally see students running out of the school to that song.
Yep.
And like, ah! Like, I hear it playing in the movie so fucking clearly.
That's a fact. So shout out to them. Like I said, that's dropping this Friday. Keep an eye out for it if you guys liked it. I like it. It's definitely a track. Like I said, it's kind of up my alley too with that the pop mixture. I fuck with it. So I'm glad they sent it to me. I'm looking forward to it dropping officially, and it's cool to see that they're maybe going to continue making more music together because they've got an interesting sound. They work well together. Next up, we have a song from Ant. It's going to be 2020, right, by NMG Quick.
Yes, sir. NMG Quick is one of my mans out in Binghamton. He's really dope. I'm not sure if either of you guys have heard of them, but they've been around here for a while. They got their stripes. They also just played a track, actually. I'll talk about them briefly afterwards.
He gonna rise and fly, sugar. He gonna rise and fly, baby. When he hanging on the dollar, he gonna rise and fly.
2020, niggas still on the block, still getting money. See I popping on these perks, acting all funny. Yeah, it's not a Bronx tale, but I'm the man, Sonny. Whoa, Johnny Depp, baby, out there looking for that block. Try to play big, kicking your duck. Chris Paul Thunder, I just started off slow. Your man got a camera on him, he should go pro. Now y'all know that snitches at an all time. I told my bitch I ain't never doing 6'9". Got beef, 9 niggas strapped up with 6'9". And I still pulled the shotty on him. Taking drugs like a rock star. Nigga, you ain't a rock star. Fake chains in your ripped jeans. Always talk about the block, y'all. He ain't from the block, y'all. Probably tone on his own team. Always lying about his clothes and his foreign things. Only time your ass seen Jamaicans when you with the Queens. Cars used to pull up to the block. We was Russian fiends. You could catch me in your backwoods like Russian cream. Nigga been trapping till the morning. I heard a nigga been trapping right at my house. I heard a nigga been trapping till the morning. I heard a nigga been trapping right at my house. I heard my mom screaming, boy, not in my house. I heard my mom screaming, boy, not in my house. I heard a nigga been trapping till the morning. I heard a nigga been trapping right at my house.
And that's 2020 by NMG Quick. That was pretty dope. I'm not super familiar with NMG, and I know that's probably like an issue because I've heard of them. I've seen that they make music. I just haven't reached out to touch base with them. Almost one of those situations where I'm waiting for them to reach out and touch base to me. But it's one of those things where we both could have met in the middle somewhere because I fuck with that. That was pretty dope. It wasn't initially. I didn't love it. I liked the beat and everything, but his voice wasn't exactly what I would listen to. But by the time it transitioned into that rock sounding, I was fucking with it, and I was like, I'm now like I dig this. So it was very interesting situation for me where I started out not really loving it, but halfway through the song, I honestly really liked it. So, but you were gonna introduce it yet?
That's just 2020 by NMG Quick. I've been listening and fucking with these guys for a while. NMG is a whole unit. They got a whole squad. I got turned on to like a Cypher remix video they did a couple years ago. I saw them share it today, and it's about to hit 150,000. So that's how I found out about them. They killed that, and NMG Quick is somebody that I stayed up to date with. He actually got Fred the Godson's last verse that he recorded while he was alive. It's crazy. He has music coming out with Fred the Godson, Papoose, Graph.
Damn.
If you guys know who these are, these are legends in New York. So
that's crazy.
That always perks my ear whenever I hear you working with names like that, especially when I'm already a fan of you. You get put into a different type of echelon when you're starting working with artists like that, especially more than one. He's somebody that I'm planning on working on some music with. I actually sent him a song yesterday to hop on. I'm waiting for him to hit me back to see how he feels about it. Somebody that I just have a large respect for their crew. And I was listening to their Spotify yesterday. When you asked me to send a song, it was the first person it's good to hear that you guys fuck with the sound. Or I guess I didn't hear Sheridan's opinion.
Dude, I fucked with that heavy.
Yeah.
Like, even when it first came in. Like, when it first came in, it was, like, a little meme-y sounding, but, like, still, like, I loved it. It was, like, goofy. Like, I kind of like that kind of sound. Like, it was, like, I don't even know who I would compare it to, but there were a couple artists while I was listening to it. I was, like, it kind of reminds me of this, but it was still just so different. Like,
there's
like,
nobody.
It was...
There's nobody.
There's nobody
like
that's
that
quite like that.
Yeah.
There's nobody quite like that. Like, it was definitely really interesting, and he really even had some bars in there.
Yeah,
like
he was rapping, and he can really rap. He has music over drill beats. He has music over trap beats. Music over old school beats like this, or like just banging hard beats. Like, he can do everything. And they got a whole camp. So it's good to hear that you guys fucked with it for real. I definitely did. This was probably my favorite track that I was listening to yesterday. Besides, he had a song with Chino Bands, actually, that I was listening to yesterday. I almost chose that one instead. But I figured let's showcase him solo.
Yeah. That was definitely a dope track. Like I said, check out NMG Quick if you haven't. Really QUIC.
No K.
2020 was the name of that track. That was really dope. Sheridan, you got the last track for us today. Pray for Me, right? Featuring one of our own.
Yes. Pray for Me by John D. Contradiction from Not Your Mans. If you guys are familiar with them, they do reviews on albums and songs.
Yeah, shout out to Not Your Mans. I've tuned into a couple of their reviews. Yeah. They do a really, really dope thing for artists. You send in your project. There's like 3 or 4 of them, right? They'll all listen to it, give you their take on it, a genuine review. Yeah, all 4 of them will give you a legit review.
Straight from their heart, my nigga. They will roast you or they will big you up like none other.
Yeah, and that's what they should do. They're honest with you. They give you honest critique that you need to get. Well, you don't need to get, but it will help you get that kind of critique from listeners who actually listen with that kind of ear and want to give you some legitimate feedback. So, and then they also recognize when it's not for them, but they still critique it the way they feel they should.
Right.
So.
And it's like if they like your stuff, and even if they don't, like you can end up keep putting out music, they might end up liking it. But if they like your stuff, it's kind of like a lasting relationship with them. I still talk to John D. I'm gonna send in my next album to them. Anthony and I both got hopped on an interview with them. They're really chill guys, honestly. I liked, yeah, I liked getting on the podcast with them. That was actually my first podcast experience.
That's dope.
So yeah, so that was definitely fun. But yeah, this is John D. Contradiction featuring Anthony Cannon. I thought this was a really dope song. So let us know what you think.
Shit not a game to me. Switch the flow, let it bang. All this shit I speak ain't make believe. Bitch, I'm grown, let it hang. I'm not here for you to like me. Any problems, only fight me. You got a problem, I won't take it lightly. Then you can meet the bully I got inside me. I may be calm on the outside. Shit came with years of practice. Younger years on the south side. Queens became a habit. Not the case, still slick with the mouth side. But the feeling that I gotta have it. Still carry that run in your house side. Semi-automatic, I'm with the static. If you can't hack it, these hands go James Braddock. Tell your girl that there's no need to panic. She gon' see a man go from a manic to packing up and leaving like he planned it. Outside, I don't think understand it. All them cowards see the truth, they can't stand it. Grab a strap to erase the loss, all because it's something a man did. Exactly what a crazy fan did. It's the type of shit that's standard, and the shit that gets you branded. Still nobody gon' pray for you, but I'm hoping that they pray for you. Ain't nobody handshaking you, I'm still hoping that they pray for you. Now that you all see the fake in you, you gon' wish that someone pray for you. If somebody end up taking you, now that you all gon' pray for you. I just need someone to pray for me. I just wish someone would pray for me. I don't need no one to pray for me, but I'm hoping that they pray for me. Yeah.
Please, somebody pray for me. I don't want no one mistaking me. Red of the blue, I work for Morpheus Agency. Drunk in the booth, niggas should know not to play with me. He got the chopper, it's cool cause he came with me. If he go pop it, they find you on A&E. You should know that I'm pissed off. Third wheel, you Chris Paul. I ball hard, I'm a ball hog. Full team like Rich Paul. No smoke, better get on, for you get popped like a hit song. Headshot, I don't miss y'all, no bitch save my Vic's dog. I'm trying to build a community. I've been teaching, I so to speak. You still wanna listen, who is he? I've been around, I can teach you the way. These are my towns, it's you and me. Anything's cool with me, but you a bitch. You trade your friend for immunity. Nothing is good, puffin' the wood. Trying to get back on my UEP. You want the score, know how I do. It's just a truant, niggas is lame. Bunch of buffoonery, hook a glove, wash your hands. He get killed, got his plans. We get him, putting four up in the box, not your man. I got bands, and the devil in my head. Please, somebody pray for me. Why don't you do me a favor? Why don't I make you a wager? Cause you a deal with some paper. And everybody gon' be haters till you sign the majors. Let the chopper take his head, that's mindless behavior. 32 and in the chamber, that's that Danny Granger. I've been smoking like a rasterizer on my papers. Think it's safe to say I blaze like a Kamehameha, yeah. Wait, every day I used to pray. Devil only wanna say anything to me at all. I ain't questioning your faith, I just really can't relate. You just use it to escape, gotta work for what you want. I do not believe in fate, treat the matches like a bank. Fill the backer with the date, lime juice on the steak. Fuck y'all, this hate speech want me to stop, bitch, make me feel around when I kill a clown on my John Wayne Gacy. Smoke weed and I play beats, I fuck it up like take keys. Give me 8 weeks, I tell Nas just to switch spots with Davies. Don't play me, just pray please, just pray please. Don't play me, just pray please, just pray please. Don't play me, just pray please, just pray please.
And that's Pray For Me by John D. Contradiction featuring Anthony Cannon. That was really dope. I actually haven't gotten a chance to listen to that one until just now. I've listened to a couple of their podcasts, so I wasn't sure necessarily what to expect in terms of the music that comes from them, but that was really fucking dope. And Ant, you did your thing too. I was actually looking at the time left on the track, and I was like, all right, is Ant just gonna keep rapping for the next minute? And you sure did. Like I honestly didn't think that was what was gonna happen. I thought we were gonna close out with a hook or something, but yeah, that was fucking that was dope.
I'm glad that you
bro. I honestly, like, John D, He really did his thing for sure.
Mhm.
Like, it was dope. Like, his part was really dope. He snapped. But, like, bro, and that's, like, one of my favorite verses from you. Like, you blacked out. Like, I really thought you, like, went great. At least released, like, one of my favorite verses I've heard from you.
Like, bar for bar, some of my best verses are on features. Like, and they're features that I never know when they're going to come out. Sometimes I forget that I even did them.
Mhm.
And I did this. This is like a year old almost. So when John D hit me up and said it's finally coming out, I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this. And he sent me the track, and he added, like, when he sent me the song, it was like a minute of him. It was the first half of his verse. And then I went on for like the last 2 minutes. I forgot about the song. He sent it back to me, and he added a whole verse, which changed the landscape of his portion completely. Like, he took it to overdrive. He already snapped, but my verse was like twice as long.
His second half, second half of his verse was crazy.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Like, this is the type of shit a man did. Type of shit a crazy fan did. This is the type of shit the Stan did. Type of shit that get you branded. Yo, he went fucking dumb on that, bro. And it was just this song is really special to me because I still don't know why he chose me to, like, feature on one of his songs. All they do is review artists all day, every day that they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And he hit me up and wanted to purchase a verse like a couple months after we did the podcast, and we chopped it up initially. So
That's fire.
To know that he was still, like, thinking about me and my music and thought I was nice, I was like, yo, I gotta bless him.
No doubt.
And just like you said, Andrew, like, I had no idea what to expect. Like, no idea what to expect when he sent the song. And when he sent the song, it lined up in terms of the topic and subject matter compared to what was going on in the world. Nipsey had just died, and there was a Nipsey line in the song that he actually took out, I assume because this song is a year old and it didn't make sense anymore, or just wasn't as timely.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much love for Not Your Mans. John D is who I have the strongest relationship with and who I stay in contact with the most. But it's all love to them.
Facts.
The love that they show to artists all around the world and the platform that they've given to numerous upstate artists is something that we should all be thankful for. And if you ever tune into this podcast and you make music yourself, you got to send in your music.
They're a great resource.
They whip. Great resource. It's the first album review that I had. And I didn't ask them for it. I was confused as hell how they got colorblind. I hit up Not Your Mans and was like, yo, how did you guys find out about this album? Because I didn't even know about them at the time. And he was like, normally people just send in albums hoping that we roast the fuck out of them. So it was probably a person that hates you or a fan that doesn't really know you, who just wanted to see what we thought. But
that's what's up. I mean, it turned out dope, you know what I mean? And it's cool to see this relationship you were able to cultivate from it, and just like it's that kind of networking too, you know what I mean? Working with other podcasts and stuff like that. Like, don't just use them for a review. Like, just the amount of networking it gets you. Like, all there, and there's plenty of other ones out there. If you don't want to send your tracks into the Cypher, send them somewhere, because it will benefit you in the grand scheme of things. So that really wraps up most of what we had. And I know you've got to get going somewhere soon, so you want to go ahead and let everybody know what you got coming up?
Absolutely. I got Clean Slate that dropped. It's a 3-piece EP. It's available on all streaming platforms. You can grab that from the link in any of my bios on social media at Anthony Cannon. I have a lyric video that came out a couple weeks ago. I haven't really been pushing it because it's going to come back on a future project. So it's only if you heard that. You heard it. I mostly was trying to get new fans with it, but you can still go back and check it out. I'm hesitant to give any dates right now. I got a lot of stuff finished, but new updates and shit keep on happening as the days go on. So I'm gonna come out with a release date very soon. But I'm dropping a new video within the next week or two. I have a lot of things I want to tell you guys about, but I don't think right now is the right time. So for now, just go run up the songs on streaming platforms. Make sure to give a like to the Upstate Aesthetic page. And thank you guys for another successful episode.
Facts. Sheridan, what do you got coming on?
Facts.
Coming next.
So my Road Less Traveled video, I'm having some issues with Apple Music and them accepting it and stuff like that. So it's coming soon. I don't have an exact date yet, but it's finished and I'm just working on getting it in the system. But other than that, I got a couple more songs that are definitely going to be coming out this year. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned. I don't know when a project's coming. Could be sooner than later. But I like I say every week, I don't know yet. I'm still deciding. And so it's a really weird time for everybody. And so I'm just kind of deciding what the best moves for me are going to be. But definitely stay tuned. I post on social media as much as possible: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that. So just follow me, keep up with what's going on. Follow Upstate Aesthetic on, like it on Facebook, follow it on Instagram. And that's what's up.
Facts. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you check out upstateaesthetic.com. We've been dropping a bunch more in terms of news articles and stuff over the last week. I've really been getting on my shit, trying to make sure I get at least one thing news related every day. So if you have something dropping and you want it covered, reach out to me. I'm trying to work a lot more and get back on it, and it's been successful this week. So the only way to keep on it is to have more stuff to talk about. So thank you guys for that. Otherwise, it's been a great show. We're going to wrap up. We're going to play the intro, or probably like 30 seconds off the intro of King's upcoming project, Lame. Other than that, thank you guys again for tuning in. Episode 22. Next competition episode coming in 3 episodes, so make sure you get those beats.